YouTube, is going on? Today we're back with another video. We're going over, should you roll Jinhsi or should you roll Changli? Now let's start off with what we know first. Clearly Jinhsi is in the shop. I'm just gonna do a light pull real quick just to show you I'm about it. That one didn't count. I'm just gonna do a light pull to show you that I'm about it. I'm gonna do just one more light pull to show you that I'm about it. All right, bro, whatever. Okay. So let's go over the things that we know about Jinhsi first, and then we'll get to Changli. Because at the end of the day, although Changli's kit is officially in the game, and you could actually see it for yourself if you completed the story, if you go over to utilities, no, I'm dumb. If you go over to gallery, you go over to crossing stars, she's right here. So, and you click on this, you're able to see exactly what she's working with, what her constellations do, what her forte does, etc. I dropped a video respectively on Jinhsi, and I dropped a video respectively on Changli, and explaining what their kits do and in-depth detail of what I believe her role is going to be, which we'll touch on in a moment. But again, back to the person that we have physically right now in game. They are objectively the best DPS. But not only are they objectively the best DPS, they're really dummy proof. So I'm going to show you this. Again, this is the basic rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your skill is going to light up to indicate you now need to do your skill. When you're in this mid-air combo, you hit your skill again. Now you have that timer. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit your skill again. It's very simple. Her rotation is short. It's concise. It's not complicated, and the game literally assists you. If you were to do your E first without anything, that you're not gonna have any follow-up. There's gonna be a small cooldown like, hey dickhead, please don't do that again. You have to do your 4 normal attacks or an intro attack first. So very easy to use. You don't need the signature. The signature gives a massive buff, obviously. I mean, unfortunately, the thing with this game is that a lot of these 4 stars are really bad. If you are going to be free to play and you're not going to go for the autumn trace, you could go for, you know, honestly, you can go for Helios cleavers. Discord is okay, but personally, I wouldn't even go for cons. I would really go for her weapon if you're going to roll more, or just go for autumn trace. Autumn trace is a good stat sec, 14.9. Or if you have Gion's weapon, verdant summon, that's not bad either. Like if I switch this, like, you know, my crit damage is going to jump up exponentially, 34 to 214. You know what I'm saying? If we look at, she has, if not the highest, some of the highest multipliers in the game. And this is just one example of a small smidge of this. So when you do that dragon fire attack on that 4th E, right? You consume your forte circuit, which is known as incandescence, and you can hold up to 50 of them. For this, it says additional multiplier per incandescence is 28.65%. So if you're using this character, right, and they have max incandescence, you're getting 28.65% times 50 if you have 50, plus all these other multipliers up here. All of these other multipliers, and it's actually insane. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to Mr. Pokey for a minute. I'm actually going to make a video breaking this down a little bit more in depth. C0, C0, R1, and they did a damage comparison, and she blows him out the water. And it is close. It is close at C0, R0 for Jinhsi and C0, R1 for Jian. So at C0, R0, it's 44,000 total damage. With Jian, it is only 40,000. So it's really, as I say here, comparison, a 10.4% difference. Really nothing too massive there. You're really only going to see the massive difference once you start going into the really big whale territory. But this showing that she's just better. She's just better because with Gion's weapon, Jian was the top DPS. You could make an argument maybe Encore with Yinlin's weapon, but let's just stick with the Jian fact for a moment. Jian is an amazing unit in the game, very easy to play, and he literally gives you unlimited parries. She is beating that without the weapon. So, I mean, she's absolutely busted. Now, I'm going to get into this in actually a different video because people think that the power creeping is going to be really bad. We'll go over that a different day. But she's just insane. Like, she is providing genuine massive buffs. And then you look here, like it even breaks down their individual damage. 37k, Jian 36k, 45k, 36k, 51k, 39k. You know, so the individual damage is definitely higher. At C0, not by a lot. After C0 is when it starts to get higher. But at that point, if you're going for cons, you're probably spending more, or you're hoping that your C1, C2, C3 character is going to outperform your the other character. So the other amazing thing about her is she's extremely free to play friendly. If I strip these away, and I don't have any characters right now, right? So off rip, Jinhsi really wants coordinated attacks for Forte Circuit to build up as fast as possible, right? Without the Forte Circuit / coordinated attack, she's still going to pump out massive damage. Like, let's say, you know, you were running, I don't know, Sanhua for some reason, which I don't recommend doing. Or, you know, I saw people recommending running Calchero or Encore. I would not recommend this either. But if you were doing this, you're still gonna have a good amount of damage. But she really is looking for coordinated attacks, and perfectly, they have dropped Yanwu, who's 100% free. You just have to complete a certain amount of levels in the Tower of Adversity to get this homie, and then you get Baiji for free already. So off rip, you have every base covered. You have multiple elements covered, so that way you could build this up as fast as possible. You have the coordinated attacks, so it can goes up even faster as well. I mean, she is looking pretty off rip. Is this her most optimal team? Fuck no. No, not even close, right? Her best in slot is going to be Yinlin. We'll get to Yinlin in a moment. But if you don't have Yinlin, you're like, oh, you know, I'm kind of sitting on this. What do I do? You could still go for her. If you don't have Yinlin, but you have Mort. Mort is another massive W in this situation, where his coordinated attacks and his outro skill is going to help. So realistically, there's options, you know? Then obviously there's Yinlin, right? This is going to be her best. Or, you know, for your support role, you can run Tauchi. So instead of running Baiji, you can run, let's say, Tauchi here, and then you can get her outro skill, which is massive W. Resonant skill damage amplified by 38%. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Tauchi. I really don't like her. I don't like her rotations. I just don't like the way she plays. Yeah. But regardless, there's tons of options to make this character work. And what I love about Jinhsi in particular is that at the end of the day, you could literally load up the game today and just say, you know what, I want this character, I'm going to get them, and you have a very good team for them already with your free-to-play Yanwu and Baiji. We'll get to Changli's stuff in a moment, but I don't feel as if it's as directly free-to-play friendly as this, right? Another thing with the teams is a lot of people don't like Calchero. I understand it, and a lot of people are hoping that Yinlin would really make Calchero the most broken unit in the game, and she really can. Their synergy with them are genuinely really great. But let's say you have Calchero and you have Yinlin, and you're like, I really don't like Calchero, and honestly, I'm making Yinlin my main DPS because I'm not liking Calchero's gameplay.
So we're teaming up.
If that's the case, roll her. Roll Jinhsi. You have her best support. You have her best support at the moment. I truly believe they're going to drop a support that is going to be more tailored towards Jinhsi as the game goes on. Because, I mean, realistically, the only thing from the outro skill that we're getting is the Resonance Aberration damage by 25%, right? Because her Resonance Aberration is just a nuke. There's no setup. There's just hit the Resonance Aberration, bam, you do a bunch of damage. But make sure you intro in off of Yinlin before you do said thing. She's great. So I really am, personally, my opinion, I think you should roll her. But now that's pretty much the mini sum up. Again, I have a full guide going more depth into the kit, but free to play friendly. You don't need her in slot weapon, and she is out damaging Gia. So I don't see this as a lose situation. You know what I mean? Like she's just amazing. Like her animations are absolutely insane. Like look at this. Like what? She feels like a Imbibity Libbity. Like she's literally like, what is that? She feels like an Archon. We're only 1.1. We got Archon level. That's what makes me excited because we're only 1.1, but this is what we're getting already. But okay, anyways. So, Changli. The interesting thing about Changli is she's in a similar situation as someone like Yinlin. And what I mean by that is both Yinlin and Donjin could be considered main DPSs, but they could also be considered sub DPS. More Yinlin as opposed to Donjin. Yinlin, with the coordinated attacks and the Resonance Aberration damage, is really pushing for a sub DPS. But with Donjin, she's a sub DPS to the Havoc Rover or any other Havoc character that you're using. Let's say if they drop another Havoc DPS, you know, when you swap out with Donjin, you are getting X amount of Havoc increase. What is it, 30% or something? Let's see. 23% Havoc damage amplified, right? So with Changli, the thing is, she has a combination, as Drake says, a combination of both. She has attributes of a DPS, but she has attributes of a sub DPS, right? So just starting off rip, her outro, the incoming resonator that has fusion damage amplified by 20%, and the resonance liberation damage amplified by 25% for 10 seconds until the resonator is switched out. That's literally just like Yinlin. That is absolutely just like Yinlin, or similar to Donjin. But her kit is based around her own personal damage. Her kit does not do any coordinated attacks. It is strictly, using your normal attacks properly. After 4 normal attacks, you get a stack of your skill. Once you get 4 stacks, you could activate your Forte circuit. And her real rotation is you want a resonance liberation. Then after that, you want to hold a charge attack when you have max Forte circuit, and then just do a shit ton of damage. My interpretation of everything that I am reading, and looking at the multiplier, she seems very solid. She really seems good. Like I don't have anything negative to say. She seems like a solid unit. She's flashy. She's going to do a lot of damage. But the way I'm looking at this is I truly believe she is more fit for a sub DPS role. You could on-field her the way that people on-field Yinlin, but I believe she's going to be best used in a team buffing Encore with Verena as the support, or if you want to do Changli, Encore, and Mort. If you wanted to go all out, and have the coordinated attacks, go with Encore and you buff the thing. Now, obviously, Encore's heavy attack is not buffing Encore, but Mort's heavy attack is not buffing Encore, but you get what I'm saying. I truly believe that there are going to be better ways to use this character than a DPS. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to roll a main DPS every single time. And again, at the end of the day, people have made John shit a main DPS, and they make it work. I don't like it, but they make it work. Who am I to judge? So anyone could work as a main DPS, but directly looking at the 2 roles of them, Jinhsi is 110% strictly main DPS. That's their role. There's no way you use this character as a sub. There's nothing there to give support to other people like that, other than the free concerto she gets, but that's not a support role, really. Changli has the option to do that. I look at her similarly to, I would say, Sanhua, in the sense where Sanhua is considered a sub DPS, and it's all personal damage, and it's all glacier damage, and then she just gets your concerto so quickly, then you then swap off. You swap to Sanhua, you do your intro if you have your concerto up, or if you're not, you do your skill, your burst, you do the Forte circuit, do the pa-ting. Once you get that, you swap out immediately, you front load as much damage with her as possible, get the fuck off the field. I think Changli is going to be very similar in the sense where you're going to front load as much damage as possible. She's going to have more on-field damage, more on-field time. She probably will have more damage than Sanhua, but more on-field time than Sanhua based on her kit, and it's going to take a little bit more to update her Forte. Shout out to whoever just subbed to the YouTube. Ultimate Safe Fire Son, I love you. I appreciate you, brother. She's going to... I just lost my train of thought. Oh my god, what was I saying? Yeah, she's gonna have more field time, but then you swap out, and you swap out to someone like Encore. Maybe she does more damage than Encore. Maybe that's a possibility where she just outperforms her. I don't know. I don't believe that will be the case, especially if running Encore with Cosmic Ripples or Yinlin's weapon. But that's how I'm looking at it, and we'll know more obviously when she comes out, and we could do more solid official testing. But overall, I think it really boils down to if you love Encore, or if you love Fusion like Mort, right? Or let's say you love Chixia. She can 100% work with Chixia. You could run Chixia as your main DPS and use Changli to buff. A lot of people like Chixia's gameplay style. I personally don't. It's not for me, but that could work as well. So if you really love Fusion and you want to buff Fusion, or you're like, you know what, I like this character, they're cool, I want to turn them into a main DPS, doable. Very, very doable. And also, the great thing about this is she can 100% run this weapon, the Emerald of Genesis. Her whole thing is resonance skill damage. It's all she's about. She goes off of resonance skill. Everything in their mother is considered resonance skill damage. And this increases energy regen by 12.8%. When resonance skill is cast, increased attack by 6%, lasting up to 2 times. So if you have Emerald, you're good. We actually have a picture here real quick of her signature. This was actually in the game. This is not a leak. This is what her signature is. It's Blazing Brilliance. Crit damage 48.6%. Attack increased by 12%. The equipper gains 1 stack of Searing Feather upon dealing damage, which can be triggered every 0.5 seconds, and gains 5 stacks of the same effect upon casting Resonant Skill. Wow! The Resonant Skill person needs to use Resonant Skill. Each stack of Soaring Feather gives 4% additional Resonant Skill damage. She's all about Resonant Skill damage. Bonus for up to 14 stacks. All stacks will be removed after 10 seconds. Obviously, this is her best in slot, right? It gives a massive amount of crit damage, 48.6%, on top of the fact that it is just buffing her res skill, which is what she's about. But if you didn't want to roll that and you wanted to get this, you could. I'm going to get another copy right now, just like that. It's unfortunate. I would have played the... Yeah, I really like that by Kendrick here, but unfortunately, I'm not like that. But, you know, so that's very good, too. Team comp-wise, if you were to run her as a main DPS, let's just pretend this is Changli. I think, honestly, you would probably go Mort, and you would go Verena. Now, a lot of people don't have Mort. And actually, let's see if Mort is getting a rerun with her. Hold on, let's go to the Wuthering Waves Twitter. Let's go to the Wuthering Waves Twitter real quick. Give me a second. Wuthering Waves Media. Okay. I know they dropped the official banner, so let's see what we're working with here. Here on the Wuthering Waves Twitter is more Teffy, so obviously we know that. Oh, did they not drop the second banner? Do we not know? No, I feel like they told us. Comment below if they told us. I'm like 85% sure they gave both banners away. But, oh, boobies. But I guess I'm wrong. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong in this assumption. Well, this is the first banner. If they run Mortefi on her banner, then obviously that you're setting yourself up perfectly to have a main damage DPS, because realistically you could swap into Mort, get that fusion damage with his coordinated attacks, and then swap back into her. You're not really going to get anything too crazy off of the heavy attack amplification from him. That's not really her role or what she's doing. You want skill damage. I wouldn't recommend Tauchi. I mean, I guess you could, but I wouldn't recommend that, right? But if you wanted to run as a main DPS, I could see this being the main team. But like as a super duper ultra free-to-play team, I don't really know. And then obviously you can have her funneling into Chixia, and then after that have Verena as a support. So I just think Jinhsi is more universal, and unlike Yinlin, who has those coordinated attacks, since they have these coordinated attacks, they could literally work with everyone, every single character under the sun. Changli doesn't have that, so that's my only gripe. I wouldn't say gripe, but concern. I don't know if this is going to be the best role for your account if you are not building a Chixia, if you don't have Encore, if you don't have Mortefi, if you don't have Verena. I don't know if this is going to be a good character for you. You know, I think Sanhwa's like outro is going to give you the basic attack damage, which you do basic attacks with, but like other than that, like really only Tauchi gives resonant skill damage. Could have Yan, like I don't know. I don't know. So let me know if you think I'm overlooking any significant team comps here, but I pretty much have everyone except Yang Yang, and you're not running Yang Yang with her. So, but yeah, so overall, I'd probably go Jinhsi over Changli. I'm going to roll Changli regardless because I'm a filthy whale, but that was my interpretation of the kit. And with that being said, let me know. Did this help you? Do you think I'm a fucking asshole and I should stop making videos? A lot of you have been commenting. No, but I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one.